and we're going to talk about the case of 36-year-old Kevin Robert O'Keefe. So I'm basically going to make a reaction video to the video that I made. So if you haven't seen that video, go back and look at it. Kevin got one of these float planes to drop him off on September 22nd, okay? And that's the last time anybody's seen him, okay? September 22nd, and he told them, oh, pick me up on October 10th. So this pilot was the very last person to ever have seen him alive. The next time anybody seen any trace of him was when these rangers on October 8th, so this is like 12 days later, these rangers found his tent. His tent had a broken center pole, and I cannot stress how important that is to remember. Because if he had a broken center pole, what broke it? He would have had to jump on his tent for his tent to have a broken center pole. It's not just something that just breaks. Especially in '85, because stuff was made a lot better back then. But all of his belongings were inside of this tent. The Rangers find his tent on the 8th, and they're like, this is weird, he's not here. They look inside, and they see all of his stuff in there. They didn't go through any of his packs this day, but they looked and seen a lot of stuff in there. They even found a food cache, like 100 yards away from his tent. Which is a little bit weird. I don't know if maybe he just didn't want to attract bears or whatever, but they were all untouched. They don't start searching for him until the 10th. Literally the 9th, these rangers just went and sat in their boat and watched his tent to see if he came back. I feel like if they realized on the 9th that he had not been back to his tent since the last time they were at his tent, that they should have probably reported him missing that day. That's just my opinion. But they did start searching for him on the 10th. They did an aerial search. They did a few aerial searches throughout the 10th through the 14th. And then they had some dog search. David Paulides says that there was a big search, but I find no record of that in the actual missing persons case. Like, I found the papers from the National Park Service, and it states nothing about there being a large search. It literally only states that there were 3 sea dogs and their handlers, and they did aerial searches. So it seems to me that they felt like this man was already dead. On the 12th, I believe, they found his boots about half of a mile away from his camp. Why? Why would you, there's no logical reason as to why this man would have taken his boots off. And then they found his hat, which is a little bit less weird because sometimes you can lose a hat, but they found his hat not too far away from his boots. And they also found a piece of his glove, like the inside of his glove, around that same area. This is weird, okay? Because people say, oh, it's hypothermia. Well, with hypothermia, you shed all of your clothes. You shed your clothes, I feel like your boots and your hat would not be the first thing to go. He also, mind you, did not have anything with him. He did not have his day pack. They found his day pack on the 10th, and they looked through it, and there was nothing there. They also took his tent down and took everything on the 11th. So even if he was alive, they left at night, and nobody was there overnight. So even if he was alive and came back to his tent, he would have had nothing. So I feel like they knew that this man was dead. They knew that they were never going to find this man. The National Park Service is extremely shady. Like, people think that it's all rainbows and sunshine in the national parks. It's extremely shady. Even park rangers will tell you that it's shady. They contacted his mother on the 10th, and she said there's no way that he would have left his tent overnight. There's no way. And also, all of his food, his water, his supplies were in his day pack. And in his cache, but a lot of it was in his day pack that he at least would have taken with him if he was going to go for a hike. So the theory is that he was sleeping and something startled him, maybe whatever broke the center pole, and then he ran away. A little bit weird because who sleeps with their boots on? I don't know. And if something was attacking me inside of my tent, I don't think I would have the time to put boots on. But this is a really, really weird trend that we find, is that there's articles of clothing that are found with no remnants of the body. Like, they never, ever found anything after they found his boots and his hat and his piece of his glove. They never found anything after that. Granted, they didn't look very long. They looked from the 10th until the 14th, and then that was it. I swear that they thought that this man was dead. They knew this man was dead. I mean, to be fair, he was in a very remote area, but it just doesn't make sense. If he would have fallen off a cliff or something, why did he take his boots off? If he was attacked by a bear, why didn't the bear go after his food cache? Why wasn't there any holes in his tent? And why wasn't there any signs of a struggle? Bears, mountain lions, and other things that may have done this, they leave evidence. There's always evidence. There's always something, like a spot of blood where he was attacked, or an area that was disturbed because he was attacked there. Also, they don't take your boots off. They don't take your boots off and put them next to each other. There's no reason why this man would have taken his boots off. I just do not. That's the weirdest thing to me in this whole entire thing. And that his center pole was broken, but there was no damage to his actual tent other than that. So there was no, scratch marks from a bear. There was nothing. Absolutely nothing. And this would be fine if this was just a one-off thing that just, happened to him. But this happens all the time. There's so many cases of people literally taking their boots off or it's a little bit understandable, I guess, if you want to take your backpack off if you're trying to run. But I do not get it. No explanation makes sense here. Let me know what you guys think, okay? Because I am baffled. I don't understand.